Welcome back. Did you get a mask? I got a mask. Do you like my mask? Isn't it fantastic? Yeah, but it also is really, really hot. It's like 85 degrees. And I don't think I'm going to do the whole presentation wearing it, but I'm thinking about it. Because, well, why not? But anyhow, welcome back. I can breathe better. Hopefully, everybody's healthy and having as much fun as they can in these very different times with this whole gotta stay home and not go outside anymore thing. Well, within reason, obviously. So, anyway, here I've done this presentation, and here we go. Click and click again. Welcome back. Obviously, some things will be the same and some things will be a little bit different. If the text on the following slides is green, that means it's the same. If it's purple, that means things will be a little bit different, kind of like me. Anyhow, here we go. First thing, the same. All assignments and questions and forms will be posted to Google Classroom, just like they were before. Make sure you're reading carefully all the instructions and you're answering every part of all the questions. And I've tried really hard to limit the number of questions, so it was not quite 1,000, and it's more like, 702 plus 6 divided by 3, so like 15. Maybe? No, not even that much, but mostly like longer thinking questions, maybe a couple, 2, 3 sentences, but not a ton of them. I know that time is precious. Anyhow, so there's that. That's the same. Everything's posted in Google Classroom. There'll be some questions. That'll be kind of our discussion unless I decide to do something funny like a hangout. But I have no idea how that works. And if I figure it out, we'll let you know. So you got to pay attention to emails and announcements and things like that. But that's all in Google Classroom. You know where that is. You know how to use it. Next, things are a little bit different. We're meeting on the internet, aren't we? And that means many things. It means my soon memes are dead because you're using a computer to read the soon memes. Maybe I need to find some I don't know, memes. Anyway, so we're meeting on the internet. First thing is this. The internet has a lot of these kinds of things, and they're distracting and awesome, and you have to be careful with it, obviously, much more so now because you're at home. And there's nobody there to say, hey, Timmy, stop playing games. And, hey, Timmy, stop picking your nose and wiping it on a computer. So there's a lot of this going on, and that's on you, obviously. You're in charge. You get to decide where and when you work. Like right now, it's 10:45 at night on a Saturday, and I'm sitting in my room where I normally play guitar, and I am doing this lesson. It's the best place for me. So you got to find what works for you, and then use the time accordingly. From there, I'm going to change the way that the assignments are due. Is basically I'm going to post them up on Monday, and they're going to be due on that following Sunday. And I mean the end of the week, but I don't mean Friday, because everybody's like, oh, I want to work on it over the weekend. Well, weekends don't exist right now, so it's basically due on Sunday, because on Monday more assignments will come along. So make sure that you're keeping up with that. If you want to finish them all, just like that, get it done, that's on you. I don't care. Turn them in. I will be checking on that Sunday, and those that are not done, I'm going to grade them, and then you know how the business works. But if it's over 5 days late, I'm not taking them anymore because it's too much of a bureaucratic nightmare to try to keep up with you people in a building, let alone when you're out scrambling around and knocking over mailboxes and such, which is a bad idea and you shouldn't do it. But anyway, so 5 days late, I'm not accepting them anymore. So keep that in mind. Obviously, if you have a real excuse, let me know. And we can work around that. But if you're not, if you're just lazy, also don't turn them in blank, because that's dumb. Also, I will be responding to email regularly, and I will respond promptly in somewhat quotation marks, because I have things going on here too. I'm homeschooling my own children now, and I'm also, taking care of lots of other things. And so if I don't get back to you right away, don't panic, I will as soon as I can. So if there's any questions about any of that, I think the big change obviously is the due dates, and as well as that other thing I said, which I've forgotten now, but it had to do with something important. No, due dates and late work. I'm not doing late work. If it's after 5 days, forget it. And I'll take off some points each day as we go along. And you got enough time. I'm not going to overload you with assignments. So anyway, you know what to do. This next slide is our usual, what are we doing today? But it's also different. If you take a look in the upper corner there, it says the week. What are we doing this week, right? Because that goes along with the whole, like, hey, look at that. It's Monday and he's assigning crap. And then it's Friday and it's still not due yet because it'll be due on Sunday. So anyway, up in the top in white are the essential questions. How much control do we have over what we do? Right now, not a whole lot, right? They just sent out a thing, said you can't go outside and meet with more than 10 people. And you probably shouldn't breathe in around those other 8 people anyway. So we don't have a lot of control over our situation. It's an interesting spot to be in. How does morality shape what we do and how we do it? Again, think about those folks out there trying to resell hand sanitizer that got shut down on the internet. So that was pretty entertaining. And then how do we differentiate between right and wrong? That's another big idea that's going on in what we'll be reading next. And what will you do with this stage? And that has to do with the stage of the world that we're on. All the world's a stage and the people merely players. Obviously Shakespeare and all that, and then plays and drama. So yes, we're reading a drama. It's called Inherit the Wind, and I have a copy of it somewhere in here. It is right here, and it's backwards. That's hilarious. So that's backwards, but it's not. It's not, because that guitar is on that side of me. And that... Weird. Anyhow, that's funky. It's right on mine. Anyway, so this is called Inherit the Wind by Jerome Lawrence and Robert E. Lee. And I will now proceed to read it to you page by page. I'm kidding. But anyway, I have electronic copies of it, and it will be posted in Google Classroom. Act 1, Scene 1 is the first thing that you have to read. Now again, it is a script, which means it's got stage directions in italics. It's also got like the names of the people and everything. And that could be, I know, a pain in the neck, but it goes quick. It's a really quick read. It's a really good book. But anyway, before we get to that, we have to talk about monkeys. And my son was kind enough to hand me and loan me his stuffed monkey here. The Scopes trial article, which is the first thing you see, has to do, it's called the Scopes Monkey Trial. And there will be a Google Classroom assignment about it that says that it talks about this actual trial that took place back in the 20s, which is what the entire play is based on. All right, it's about a teacher who decided to teach what they wanted to teach, which was evolution, but the state was like, nope, you can't teach evolution because it's not real science, and you're going to teach what's in the Bible. Imagine being in that classroom. Anyhow, so we're going to start out with the Scopes trial. I'm going to post that up, and then you read that one first, and then I'm going to post up Inherit the Wind, Act 1, Scene 1. All right, and again, some of those big ideas behind this have to do, remember the Google Classroom questions I gave you before? Should a teacher be told what they can teach, or can they teach what they want? Which is better, science or religion? And if you check on the Google Classroom, you can take a look at your responses to that as well. But anyhow, I think that's where I'm at for today. So your job is to focus on the monkey. The monkey says, you need to get your work done. But again, don't panic, as always, right? You got like a week. The Scopes trial article's like 4 pages, Inherit the Winds maybe 15 or 16, and it's dialogue, so it goes real fast. Make sure you're thinking when you're answering the questions. We're talking about a lot of really heavy concepts here. Religion is something that we don't necessarily want to dive into too terribly much, but we also want to make sure that we're taking it into consideration to different points of view. One of the harder things to do is to listen to somebody else's point of view that you disagree with. You don't have to accept it, you don't have to agree with it, but you got to listen to it and respect that it's their idea. And that's one of the big ideas and big lessons that comes away from this particular piece. Anyhow, this is my first time ever trying to record myself teaching, and it's the strangest thing ever, and I hope that it isn't terribly confusing. But if it is, well, deal with it. But anyway, hopefully you'll figure it out, and if you have any questions, email me. I think that's it. Yeah, that's probably it. Anyway, hope you're doing well, and I'll be back again to do some more things to talk about some of the big ideas in here in a day or 3 or so, depending. Bye.